Hello, thank you very much for visiting. In the next few minutes, I want to talk about how we can convert the United States of America to be solar and wind powered quickly. Now, there's a lot of people don't know this, but there is a way by which we can convert natural gas utilities to become solar and wind technologies. And right now, the present paradigm is nuclear electricity, solar electricity, wind electricity. I dispute this by saying the better way to go is natural gas thermal, solar thermal, and wind thermal. We are over electrifying energy. We can reduce our dependency upon high carbon fuels like oil and coal if we were to work with the natural gas utilities, and that we won't need to build more nuclear power plants or coal burning power plants. Now, by the numbers, 1/2 of all electricity is used for heating and cooling of buildings. Okay? If we were to displace heating and cooling with solar and wind technologies, guess what? We could conserve half of this country's electricity and use it for other things. 1/3 of all electricity is used in residences. 1/3 of all electricity is used in commercial buildings. And about 1/4 of all natural gas is burned in residences and commercials. Hey, there are 4 solutions to global warming: carbon dioxide reduction, circular carbon, carbon dioxide elimination, carbon dioxide removal. Instead of building more transmission lines, we should electrify the railroads by integrating solar thermal and wind thermal technology combined with natural gas cogeneration, which I'll talk about in a minute here. That should displace the need to build more transmission lines. In rural areas, we can hook up wind turbines to make heat, like furnaces and hot water, and that way we can burn propane in our cars. Notice what I'm doing here? Displacing energy. Now, there's so many thermal energy that can displace electricity. I'm just going to run over really quickly. Solar hot water heating. Convert windows to greenhouses. Solar greenhouses attached to the building. Solar hot water. Solar hot air. Wind powered heating. Wind powered parking lots. Solar cooking. We can integrate solar thermal technology with natural gas utilities. Cogeneration. This is where we use the heat of the exhaust of a generator to make hot air or hot water, or refrigeration. It's called a lithium bromide cycle or absorption cycle. So that way you make electricity at the same time as you make refrigeration, air conditioning, hot water, and hot air to heat a building or cool a building. You do this for large shopping centers. You can run refrigeration plants, make ice with natural gas refrigeration. And we can manufacture it so that they can be maintained very easy. Just if you need to replace the unit, you put it on the skid and truck it away, take it off to the factory, work on it, and replace it. Solar hot air conditioning. Solar hot air. We can use photovoltaics to power air. Skylight. Night sky radiation. You know it's cold in outer space, negative 270 degrees. We can radiate that hot heat to outer space and power an artificial intelligence computer system using night sky radiation. You can build a cheap one out of cardboard. Now, in ancient times, they made solid ice in the middle of deserts using night sky radiation. We can assist air conditioners with night sky radiation. Nobody knows about it. The equipment's not in mass production, but we can develop it fairly quickly. We can make ice at nighttime and then cool a building with ice. That's a real solution for Texas. Solar powered and wind powered street lights. There, solar powered and wind energy photovoltaics is the power electric car. I like them being coin and operated, by the way. Now, one of the things we can do is convert our cars to run on natural gas. Now, I'm all in support of electric vehicles, but I can tell you one thing: it's going to take decades to build enough electric vehicles to convert. We can't convert all those used cars at used car lots to natural gas. I call them gas buggies. And that way, we'll be able to convert all those cars to run on natural gas instead of gasoline. Now, the way we get the natural gas is we stop burning it in our furnaces and hot water heaters and divert it over to run our cars. You can even run cars off compressed air or hydrogen, but only for short distance. Hydrogen. We can convert cogeneration to run on hydrogen. The trouble is you use more natural gas. So in order to make up for it, we can make the hydrogen with solar and wind, or we can conserve natural gas with more solar hot water heating systems. Can convert existing coal and natural gas power plants to run on hydrogen. It's just the trick to it is you use the waste heat to heat the natural gas, and that way you don't have to burn as much natural gas to make hydrogen. You can convert existing coal burning power plants and natural gas power plants to hydrogen, but it takes more energy. Flywheels, highly underrated, but it will stabilize the supply. I'm the inventor of lightning energy. We can run lightning through a coal field and convert it to natural gas. No shortage of natural gas, but it's straight. I am trying to convert natural gas fields to become hydrogen. I'm the inventor of tornado energy, where we use solar energy to make hot air to create an artificial tornado. And this would make wind turbines, wind energy, much more efficient. We can integrate recycling to make manufactured solar energy. We can put in compost. I'm using a trailer design. That way we can sort all this compost and glass and everything to as sub areas, and that way it makes it easier to make them into useful. And then we can put compressed air buoys on rivers to help the slow-moving water turbines for air. And then geysers. And then biogas. We can make biogas from organic sources like from agricultural waste. And then solar smelters. We can actually melt glass, metals with concentrated sunlight, or make airplane fuels or biodiesel. We can distill water from atmosphere and with solar water, solar can manufacture alcohol and propane from solar natural gas. And then we can make biodiesel fuel, transport it to the airport, and make airplane fuels with solar energy. They're proposing a ferry boat system around Africa. I'm proposing a hydraulic ramjet powered by biodiesel. The amount of energy, the biomass that comes down the Congo River would power this. And then policy. We need to a lot of the legislation. Hydroelectric. This would reverse global warming and remove carbon dioxide. Basically, what we're doing is pumping seawater inland or pumping underground salt water to the surface for evaporation in dry salt lakes. There are 610,000 sites worldwide where we can do this. If we were to do this in the Southwest, it would restore water in the Rio Grande and Colorado River. We use solar and wind energy to pump seawater to the surface and also underground salt. We can also use floodwaters. Quattara Depression is one example of the engineering that's been done. Hasn't been built, but it can be done. Now, we can use flywheels, we can use wind turbines, photovoltaics, concentrated sunlight to pump underground salt water to the surface. And there's tons of salt water out there. It's just that we need to get it to the surface. And, you know, one of the reasons why we have warfare, droughts. I'm going to tell you the major reason why we have a warfare in the Middle East is because of the drought. Drought seems to bring out the worst of people. If we were to build these sites like in Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, I think it would put a stop to the warfare. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but lack of physical deprivation, lack of water, does create warfare. And then there's sites all over the world. We do it. It's kind of like history repeating itself, except it's not 1925. It's 2025. So I see history repeating itself. With this, we can use with these technologies. We can make computers be solar and wind powered. And we need to get the oil industry to clean up their act. One of the major reasons why I think we have warfare and crime is physical deprivation. I call it the 11th Bill of Rights, the right to make your own energy. We need to add this to the Constitution. And at the same time, we're going to need immigrant labor. So I'm proposing a guest worker program where people come from Haiti or Honduras for 6 months out of the year. And they come here and work for the solar industry, retrofitting solar technology to buildings. And then they go back home. It helps people in their country, a win-win situation. We need our own labor union. I call it the solar union. And then this is something that really concerns me. The natural gas utilities were purchased back in 1990 by the electric utilities. We were actually going to do this, retrofit solar energy equipment to natural gas utilities, but the electric utilities were alarmed. They forced the natural gas utilities to merge with the electric utilities. We need to implement antitrust legislation and forcing the divestiture of natural gas utilities from electric utilities. They should be their own business. And then we need to add energy efficiency. We need to put in better transit systems. And the world's most expensive transportation system is cars, highways, and parking lots. It's too expensive. We spend so much money on gasoline, it's more than state in many cases. And there are other forms of transportation out there. We could put in bus rapid transit. We could rebuild the Mayan canal system in Mexico and Brazil. And then rural areas. We could put in bicycle trailers. And then one of the things too, we need all forms of business. We need the private sector and the public sector too. And then there are a lot of things we can do. We need good regulation that makes sure that we have quality stuff and protects public. With things we can do in financing. And then there's a few things I want to say about nuclear power plants. If all 400 nuclear power plants on this planet were to blow up at once, guess what? We're killing off 75% of the human race. The technology exists with kinetic weapons. We need to derate existing nuclear power. So if it instead of being 1,000 megawatts, it would operate at 100 megawatts. And let me put it this way. If we had derated the nuclear power of that plant that blew up in Japan, it would not have blown up. This is a safety feature. And then I want to say this much. The King of Saudi Arabia, when I met with him, he only said one word to me: no. Okay? And then national defense. We need to see solar technology as being a method of national defense. And the way to do this is dual economic function and emphasize mutually assured defense, not offense. We're using the military for military reasons to go in foreign countries, Vietnam, Libya, Iraq, and Venezuela, Gaza, and it's all over oil. We need to stop this mercenaryism for oil and emphasize national defense. Let me put it this way. I have met with foreign governments before, and it was me and some other engineers. We actually convinced the Chinese to go in mass production on solar technology. They didn't even know about this. And guess what? 75% of all renewable energy today is made in China. We can change things. We need to work with governments and private industry to rapidly convert this planet to be solar powered. It can be done. And the way to do it is via the natural gas. Now there's one thing we can do locally, and that is for the city of Seattle to consider purchasing the natural gas from Puget Sound Energy and convert it to a solar net. We can do the same thing in Albuquerque, Texas, Alabama. We can do this nationwide and force the natural gas utilities away from the electric utilities and then convert them to a solar and natural gas utility. Thank you very much for listening. Have a very good day.